Today I am doing the Winter is Coming book tag, and I know winter is half over, but there we go, moving on. Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. So this tag was created by Catherine Barker and I was tagged in it by Janie at Bookworms Buddy. I will link both of their channels below, go check them out. This tag is pretty simple, it's just a series of questions and honestly the majority of you have already done it. I know I'm late to this, I was tagged way back in November or December, but life got in the way and I haven't done it yet. So here we go. Question number 1. Is snow. It is beautiful at the beginning but then it starts to melt. Name a book or series that you loved at the beginning but by the middle realised you no longer liked it. And I am going to say Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I think I've mentioned this before. I absolutely loved this at the very beginning. I thought, oh, this is different, this is exciting, and I got really into it and was all like flailing about it everywhere, like, oh, it's so amazing when you find a great book. And then the last sort of half of it I was just like, what's going on? What's happened to this book? Oh my gosh, why? It just got really gratuitous and all love triangle-y and blah. And I know I moan about this book quite a lot. I mean, I like it, but I don't like it because of that. Like, I think it could have been even better, but yeah, there we go. That is the book that I really loved at the beginning and then end up not so liking much. Question number 2 is Snowflake, something beautiful that is always different. Choose a book that stands out, that is different from all the other books you've read, and honestly the first book that comes to mind is S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. I flail about this book a lot because I absolutely love it and I wish there were any other books like it, but I have yet to find a single book at all like it. I did several videos on this because I loved it so much, but I have a review video which you can watch here, and honestly if you just want a different reading experience that is different to any other book that you've read, you need to read this book because it is so amazing. Question number 3 is Snowman. It is always fun to make one with your family. Choose a book that the entire family can enjoy, and I am going to say a book which I think I probably mentioned in my pictures in books videos before Christmas, and that is the Jolly Christmas Postman, because this is a wintry video and yes I know I've missed Christmas but shh. The Jolly Christmas Postman by Janet and Alan Alberg. I read this with my mum and my brother when I was a lot younger and it is one of the most amazing books that I've ever read. It's just there's lots of things to take out and for young kids it's just really enjoyable, but it's just a really beautifully made book, so my mum loved reading it as well. So it's just a really nice fun family book, and if you have young kids then I really recommend checking out the whole Jolly Postman series if you haven't already, because they're all really incredible books. Question number 4 is Christmas. Pick a book which made you feel warm inside after reading it, and I'm going to say The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Now I was sort of a bit unsure about this book because the plot itself I don't think is that great. It's a pretty thin, not much going on plot, but I picked this book for the sole reason that it is absolutely beautifully written, and I would recommend anyone to read it just because of that, because it's just such an enjoyable reading experience, and irregardless of the plot I just loved the actual reading experience of it, so that definitely makes me feel all happy inside when I read it. Question number 5 is Santa Claus. Choose a book that you'd like to get for Christmas. This is why I should have done this tag weeks ago, I know. I made a whole video about books I would like to get for Christmas, and in general it doesn't matter if you watched it before Christmas or you watch it now because it's just about awesome books, so you can go look at that now. I will pick a book off the top of my head. Actually I'll tell you, there's one book I didn't get for Christmas which I asked for my birthday as well, which I still really want, and that is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. Oh, I really want to read this book and I can't afford it, it's like 20 quid, so I keep putting it on like birthday and Christmas lists, but I haven't got it yet. So one day I will get that book, but yeah, that was on my Christmas list and it's going to be on next year's Christmas list probably, so there we go. Question number 6 is snow bowling, and I'm not sure whether that's meant to be snowballing or what. Do people call it snow bowling in the States? I don't know. Anyway, being hit by a snowball can hurt. Pick a book which made you feel emotion like sadness or anger, and oh my gosh, there are so many books I could pick for this. Pretty much the entire John Green collection I could pick for this, but I am going to go for one that I think a lot of people will agree with me on, and that is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. There are so many moments in this book which were just like, why are you doing this? I'm not gonna say which ones because I think anyone who's read this book can probably guess which ones, but needless to say, oh my gosh, I'm still not over this. Yeah. Question 7 is Sledding. We all loved it when we were younger. Choose a book that you loved when you were a child, and I've already mentioned The Jolly Postman, so I'm going to mention the Mr. Men and Little Miss series because I don't know whether they make them in America or outside the UK. They must do. They must do. Let me know in the description below if you live outside the UK and you've read the Mr. Men and Little Miss books by Roger Hargreaves. There's hundreds of them. And they're tiny little books and they're just pictures and they're really short, but they have all little cute morals and everything. But I loved them, and yeah, they were just really cute books, and I think we still have all of them because we can't bear to get rid of them. So yeah, that is a book I loved when I was a child. Question number 8 is Frostbite. Choose a book that you were really disappointed in. And I am going to say A Place Called Here by Cecilia Ahern. Now, I have mentioned before I loved Cecilia's books when I was a teenager. P.S. I Love You is one of my favourite books, and I really loved all her previous books before this, but this one, it was kind of the first one of hers that really started to, well, I suppose there was some of it in If You Could See Me Now, but this was really the first one that really started to kind of venture off into like the fantasy elements as well, and I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like it kind of jarred with the real world side of her writing, and there was just something about it that was really disappointed in, and it was a shame, yeah. So I haven't actually gone on to read any of her books since because a lot of them seem to be going in this same kind of direction. She seems to have really kind of gone for that fantasy sort of element in books, and in kind of contemporary books I don't really like fantasy in it, so yeah, I was disappointed in this. Question number 9 is Reindeer, something that is dear to us, ha ha ha. Choose a book that has a lot of sentimental value for you, and I don't actually have that many books that have sentimental value for me. A lot of the ones that I have are children's books or ones that aren't here and I can't get to at the moment. But I have picked one, and I picked The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. The reason I picked this is simply because it was kind of something that I enjoyed when I was a kid, and I think I got into it originally because my brother kind of had the audiobooks of it and he introduced them to me, and then as a result I ended up going on to read The Lord of the Rings, which I love for a multitude of reasons. So I picked this one. I don't know whether it's sentimental value. I'm not particularly sentimental about this particular book, mainly because it doesn't fit in with my other collection of Tolkien books, and it's big and cool. But I guess I have sentimental value about this book in a way. Probably why my video about the movies was a bit angry thinking about it, but that's the closest I could get to sentimental value. So that is it for the questions. I'm not going to tag anyone in this because I'm pretty sure everyone has done it, and also because I'm so late in doing it, a lot of the questions are like about Christmas and Christmas is over, so I'm not going to tag anyone. But if you do want to do it and you haven't been tagged yet, then comment below with your favourite quote from your favourite book. So that's it for today's video. I will see you again tomorrow with a Top 5 Wednesday video, but until then, bye!